How to save in Ableton. Now this might seem pretty obvious, but it's important to save regularly in Ableton. If Ableton does crash, it will kind of automatically reload at the last position, so it'll say, do you want to reopen your last live set as it crashed, or something along them lines. But you need to, you shouldn't rely on that, so always make sure that you're saving regularly. Now to save, we simply come over File, and I would always say select File, Save Live Set As. Like in all software, or like in Word, selecting File, Save Live Set As gives you a bit more control of where you're saving it to. So we can go on the desktop, create a new folder for the project, and save into that. So to do that, go on desktop, make a new folder, and then just name it and click save, and that's that done. If you select File and Save Live Set, it'll just save it in the last place where you had a folder. So if I set one up on the desktop and through File, Save Live Set As, and then every time I started a new project and clicked File, Save Live Set, it would automatically save into that project folder. Another important kind of area to look at when saving is the File, Collect All and Save. Now, because you can deal with an awful lot of large audio files in Ableton, it doesn't save all the samples into a project file. Now what that means is, if you had loads of tracks, loads of songs on your desktop, and you drag them into Ableton because you were going to do a DJ set or something, if you clicked File, Save Live Set, that'd be good. Now every time you open it, as long as all them songs are still on your desktop in the same position, it'll work fine. However, if you were to move those tracks off your desktop or delete some of them, when you went to open that Ableton DJ set, it would say media offline and the files would be lost. So a way around that is, if we go File, Collect All and Save, that'll create an Ableton folder or project file which contains all the samples. So it'll save all them songs into the Ableton file. That means that you don't have to worry about the tracks anymore. So you could send that off to one of your mates, or you could carry the Ableton file and go work on another computer, and everything would open up fine because all the samples would be contained in that folder. The downside of that is, obviously, it's going to create a massive file. So unless you kind of, you have an external hard drive full of samples, or you're just working on your own computer, then it's usually fine to use the File, Save Live Set As. If you're going to be moving around computers a lot, so if you're working at college, for instance, and you create a song and you've used a lot of samples out of a folder, I would suggest using the Collect All and Save, because then you could stick that whole Ableton file on a memory stick and go to different computers, or if you're collaborating with someone, you could send them the whole file and they'd be able to open up the Ableton project and everything would work. So just to be aware of the two different save options. Now, the other thing that I wanted to go through in this tutorial was how to export. It's pretty easy. This is just going to be a basic one for now. I'll go into more detail in a different tutorial further down the line. So to export, we come to File and Export. Now this top section is the master. That's what you want to have selected, so that's going to export all of the different tracks. The start and loop length are important. So the start point is, if it's 111, that's basically at the very start. So if we double click on this clip, you can see it there. So that's 1111 there. If we change this to 0.2, it's going to start from there. 0.3 from here, and 0.4. Or if we change that to 1 to 2, so this one to 2 and that one to 1, it's going to start from here. So just be aware that you need to make sure this is on 111 to make sure it starts at the right length. Then ensure that you're going to render out the correct length. So if this was 4 bars, for instance, you would have to make sure that that's 4. Whereas this is only a 1 bar at the minute, so it just needs to go to 2. If you want to render out a loop, you can click that on and off. Make sure this is on WAV 44.1, leave the bit depth at 16 and turn the normalize on. Then hit export and just choose where you want to export it to. So if you click on the desktop and then just type in the name, hit save, and it'll start exporting.